Okay, so this is, we're going to be doing 3.1, and now we're going to do this number 8. And what we're doing is we are, what we're going to do is we're just going to put it all together. Everything that we've talked about for quadratics, we're putting it all together. The graph, the line of symmetry, the vertex, the intercepts. And then I really want to focus in on this part right here. So of how to solve a quadratic based on using the inverse operations. Okay. And all that really means is undoing stuff. Remember, we talked about using SADMAP. Okay, so we're going to use SADMAP on this in a second, but first I want to get this done. So first of all, they want you to graph this function, and you guys all remember this. When we graph this function, you can peel off the vertex. Can someone put the vertex in the chat for me? Can someone put the vertex in the chat for me? Very good. Someone said, hey, Ms. Johnson, I think it's 1, -4, because remember, X is backwards. Very good. Very good. So I'm going to copy this guy. So that goes there. Boop, right? There's your vertex. Where's your axis of symmetry? What's your axis of symmetry? Can you all imagine this is your parabola, right? And then here's your vertex. Very good. X is equal to 1. I like it. I like how I could just copy off of my chat. Johnson, are you copying? Is that called cheating? No, it's called using your classmates' answers. I know you may not use your classmates' answers during the test. What are the x-intercepts of the graph? Okay, so this is actually when we actually graphed it. So I am gonna use our graphing calculator for this, okay, because you would have done the same kind of thing. So this is parentheses x minus 1 quantity squared. Let's see, did I copy it right? Yep. Minus 4. You guys all see my let's see, did you do it right? Is the line of symmetry at 1? Everyone's like, yeah, Ms. Johnson, that's where we'd fold it. Is the vertex at 1, -4? Yeah, very good. Can someone look at this picture and tell me where my intercepts are? Very good. Someone already put it in the chat for me. Ms. Johnson, I think it's at 3, 0 and -1, 0. Let's see. Can I put that here? 3, 0, I agree. -1, 0, I agree. So let's put this right here. This is a yes. There you go. Right. How far the x-intercepts from the line of symmetry? Okay, so this might be a new thing. It might be weird, but like, can you imagine how far is this guy from your line of symmetry? How far is that guy from the fold, from the actual line of symmetry? Okay. Yeah, it's 2 away. Very good. So if you're like, okay, what do you mean, Ms. Johnson? So here's where the line of symmetry, here's the fold. So it's at 1 and my vertex is at 3. So it's 1, 2. Okay. Very good. So, and then, so this is just 2. This is the number 2. And then, okay. So now I want to do inverse operations on this, and then we're going to call it a day. Okay. So if I'm doing inverse operations on 0 equals parentheses x minus 1 squared minus 4, I'm really using SADMAP. SADMAP is PEMDAS, but backwards. And so what I want to do is I want to go through and say, hey, on the x side, do you see subtraction or addition? And I say, yes, I see -1 and -4. Okay, but -1 is really stuck where? Where's the -1 stuck at? Where is he? Yeah, he's stuck in parentheses. Okay, so we can't use him. Very good. Good job. So we can't like get to him yet, because then that would mean us skipping over all these things. So I'm gonna subtract and add. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So that would equal to 4 is equal to parentheses x minus 1 quantity squared. And then I'd say, okay, well, do you have any division or multiplication? And I'm like, no, there's no division or multiplication. Do you have an exponent? And everyone says, yes, I have an exponent, Ms. Johnson. It's right there. Good. How do we get rid of that exponent? Anybody remember? How do I get rid of this exponent? Yes. Okay, now someone said, Ms. Johnson, we square root it. Very good. Okay, but don't forget, this is the part that students forget. And we wrote it before. Whenever you take the square root of both sides of an equation, you have to include the positive and negative. Meaning, like, I'm saying, hey, what number squared gives me 4? And you're like 2. And I'm like, there's another number. And you're like, oh yeah, that's right, -2. So the +2 and the -2. So what does that mean, Ms. Johnson? I'm going to write it like this: plus or minus the square root of 4. Ms. Johnson, but I know what the square root of 4 is. It's 2. I'm just going to write it like this. So even if it was a number you didn't know, you could just leave it like this. So then we get x minus 1. And what's the last step? How do I get rid of this? How do I get rid of this -1? And then someone says, oh, just add 1. Very good. So my final answer is 1 plus or minus the square root of 4, which is just 1 plus 2 and 1 minus 2. So there's my 2 answers. So this is 3 and this is -1. Is everybody comfortable with that? Perfect. All right. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, again, how would you check your answer? You'd plug it in. And then this last part, how does solving the equation relate to the graph and the x-intercepts? You guys already answered this. Look, this is how amazing you guys are. You answered that all the way up here. Graph the equation and find the x-intercepts. When we graph the equation, the solutions are your x-intercepts. Very strong work. Good work.